one comment that was left on this post from one of the readers that gets Linda's weekly guided insights. And Ray, are you set to go over here now?
I am set to go.
All right. So do you want to let us know who's here with us tonight?
Ray Holly is Linda here with you.
All right.
I logged in here, said hi to myself, and answered myself over here on this.
He's having a great time.
That's called multitasking.
Okay, so Ray, you've got a comment for this one from today, right?
I do. Viola. Right. Now, Viola's over in the Netherlands, and she went all out during the webinar. She was up like at 3 or 4 in the morning watching your webinar. That is a dedicated follower.
The webinar was amazing.
It was.
There were some real interesting insights that the guides shared with the viewers that you only get when you sign up for the webinar. Okay, so if you go to my page, my webpage, lindadeer.com, right there, and you click on live events and you click on the webinar, it'll take you to the page where you can purchase it. And it was a 1-hour webinar that we did last Saturday.
Okay, Viola had a comment on this morning's Linda's weekly guided insight that really resonated with her.
Yeah.
So Viola said, hi, Linda. I just want to write to you that I long so much for a new start. Since the coronavirus is amongst us, it seems like this new start is evolving more clearly. I now already feel so much more relaxed working from home, and I feel happy and content in my little house and garden and with my dog. To the guides, you spoke, to the guides, she asked the guides, you spoke about not wanting to go back. I feel it already. I do not want to go back to work and get into the competition at work, competition in money, who earns the most, who has the biggest new car, who has the biggest house. I long so much for this different life that your guides said you cannot imagine. It feels so intense. I have no idea what will happen, but I wish that the world will change for the better and we all can live in the wealth that is here and we can use it for the entire world. I wish us all to be free and so we can do the things we are naturally good at and make a living with it by serving others while serving the planet. Thanks for being here and doing your work. I am so thankful that I found you guys. Viola.
Viola.
I know, and Linda Deer said, so well expressed, Viola. You have been one of the spiritually aware people who have suffered under what is soon to become the old normal. Remain calm and present.
That's right. And that's the message to all of you. Remain calm and present, because that's the only way you can connect with your guides is in the present moment. Your guides only reside in the present moment. They don't reside in your worry and your panic and your fear and your regrets. They don't reside in that. They reside in the present moment when you release all that, okay? Right. So what are we doing here, Ray?
Oh, Linda Schwartz said, you can only leave comments on Facebook and not on YouTube. And I said, yeah, that's correct, because YouTube hasn't fixed their commenting ability yet.
Yeah, they're having a little issue there. So welcome to the digital world, Linda. A lot more things go wrong in the physical world than the digital world. So at least for right now, okay, we may see some changes around that for a blimp going forward. I don't know that you all know about that, but if the guides intend to share that with you, they will. But I'm not going to jump too fast and
don't steal their thunder.
I'm not gonna do that. Okay, Ray. So, there's something. Okay, so Ray, this thing about resilient living, you and I both know how to. I'm just going to share something with you guys. Resilient living is something that the guides moved us into more than 5 years ago. Actually, more than 10 years ago now. And I actually remember the moment that I stopped, and it was at Ray's mother's funeral. How about that? in February of 2007. So that's 13 years ago. Well, yeah, 13 years ago in February. So that would be 13 years ago that I stopped, being in this world the way I used to be. And I gave all my attention toward building this project. Now, I didn't know I was going to be writing this book until I sat down in August of 2012 and just started writing about the story of my life. I did not know that it would turn out to be the book that my guides told me I would write in 1994 when they first appeared to me to take their photograph. I'd seen them since I was 20 months old, but this time they let me take their photograph. It was in motion, okay? So it's always building, you guys. It's always a little piece here, a little piece there. It's like pieces to the puzzle. It's like connecting the dots. That's why while you're going through this amazing time where, like Viola expressed, she's now free to release the day-to-day pressure of being in just this world and not liking it at all, okay? Not fitting into that. And start writing down what's going on with you. Take 15 minutes a day to write down in your journal what's unusual or out of the ordinary, what you finally have time to notice. This is how resilient living will start to play into your life. You will be resilient because you will be awake.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Back in 1994, when these guys showed up and they let you take their photograph, and a couple weeks after that, they told you you're going to write a book. Do you think that they knew they'd be on the cover?
I do think they knew. I think they knew because when they materialized at Christmas time in 1994, and I happened to have my Nikon film days, my Nikon camera in hand, and there they were. There it was, 7 feet tall, lit up the whole room. The kids, the family members were there. I took their photograph and boom, they dissipated. And everyone in the room, I said, did you guys see that? And they said, see what? Just like all the times before. And I said, well, this time I thought to myself, well, this time I've got the camera, I got the photograph. So when I get home from California, from the trip, I get home to Arizona, I'll get the film developed and see if it really happened, okay? And there it was. There they were. And they come to me 2 weeks later in a dream, and I asked them, I was lucid in the dream. I asked them, why did you let me take your photograph this time? Of all times. They said, you are going to write a book, a best-selling book about your relationship with us since you were a little girl. And we appeared so the world could believe. They did know they would wind up on the front cover of the book. They knew. So, you guys, if you just keep track, putting it all together, 20 years later, I published Guided. 20 years after they appeared physically, and I captured their photograph, and they told me I was going to write this book. 20 years later, I wasn't ready at the time. I didn't have the pieces of the rest of my life put together. Ray wasn't even in my life yet until 2004, okay, which is 10 years later, all right? And then things play out, and the rest of the family drama, trauma, truth came out in 2006 and 7. So I was really just, catching my breath before this. I was inspired to sit down that one moment and start writing Guided. So you guys just need to keep it together. Resilient living is connecting the dots. Resilient living is staying awake. Resilient living is being present so you can hear the guidance. You can feel the guidance. You know that something a little bit a piece of the guidance just popped in to your reality and you wrote it down. This is the companion journal to Guided. And you wrote it down. And now you've got that one piece, that clue, okay, that when you write in your journal the next day, you've got another piece of the clue, the puzzle. And the next day, another, you have time to do it now. Use your time wisely and use your energy well. If you're worried about the future and you're trying to write in your journal, won't do you any good at all. You just write about all the things that you want. If you write in your journal, you're worried about what happened in the past, you'll just write about the things that you regret, that you would have done differently, like punishing yourself.
Mm.
You want to write about what's going on in the present moment because that's the only thing, resilient living, it's the only thing that you control. You don't control these other two things. They're out of your control. It happened in the past. It hasn't happened yet in the future. In fact, your future will be better if you pay attention and stay present in the moment and write for 15 minutes in your journal each day about what's happening so that your future can be a better one than what you would have defaulted into, okay, or tried to force, tried to chase. There's no magic in that. There's no you in that. There's a part of you that's terrified, that's still trying to control everything. You don't have to work that hard at this, you guys. It's not supposed to be hard, this life. Resilient living. Think of a rubber band, resilient, adapting, moving with it, trusting, being present, being willing to take the action on the guidance you get. Presence.
So resilient, I look up the word resilient, and it comes from the Latin, and it means to be able to rebound or recoil. But as a character trait in a person, resilience means how fast they can mentally snap back,
Pivot.
from a tough situation, something that happened to them, could have been an illness, could have been things we're facing right now. Everything we're facing right now fits that definition. Are you able to rebound or recoil?
And how do you manage yourself to the highest and best possibilities while you're in this? This is never meant to hurt you. This is not happening to you. It's happening for you. So how do you utilize that for you? Do we have any?
Mary Elizabeth.
Great.
The thing is, there was about half a dozen people in the room, but I couldn't see who it was because I'm logged in as me.
Oh.
I could only see if it's you. So I asked people to say something over here. So Mary Elizabeth says hello.
Great.
I switched links. There were more people on the other chat. There we go.
Okay, good. So what does she mean by that, Ray? She switched.
I think they were bashful to let us know they were here.
Oh, okay. Well, we would love to have your interaction and share your thoughts around resilient living. How is it that you apply or imagine applying or are applying living in a resilient life? Okay, how are you living resiliently instead of letting this situation scare you? Okay, are you around people who scare you, like family members who are reacting and running on the fear that's just really loud right now? Okay, I want you guys to imagine this. Okay, I'm going to give you something here. I want you guys to imagine a future that is so amazing that while all this is going on right now, it's actually manifesting a future. It's giving you guys have been taken out of the game called life and be given this time to stop
It's like an adult timeout.
It's really, I want you guys to know this is going to be a reset. What you thought, you think it might just be, a little hanging to the side until things can go back to normal. The old normal is gone.
It's never
The
coming back.
moment you were sent home and to stay home and work at home, the old normal was gone. It's already over. You're just now beginning to connect with that, to imagine, what is this? What is this new normal? And how do I live resiliently? How do I adapt to this in the highest possible way? How many of you, like Viola, have been suffering from living in the old normal? And the last thing you want is that old normal to return, because it hasn't been kind to you. You've been an outcast. You've been suffering for decades from being in that old normal. Okay? There's a lot that has been going on with the old normal that you guys have felt, but you didn't know how to put it into words. That's the discernment that you're going to find yourself in the not too distant future. If you came to the webinar that we did on March 28th, you're going to know a little bit more about that and what the guides shared about what's going on behind the scenes and why this is happening right now, why this is really happening right now, what's really going on right now.
I think people, when they were sent home, kind of interesting, because I think it's pretty interesting, because you look outside and there's nobody around.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And the skies are clearing up.
No more chemtrails.
And the little birds, we've noticed more birds
Right.
are out. Okay, nature's coming back almost immediately, instantly. Lots of things they were talking about the canal in France. Where's the canal?
Well, no, that was in Italy.
Italy.
Dolphins and what are the big birds? Flamingos or not flamingos?
No,
I don't know. Some big birds came back that they don't
that were
see
natural to the area.
But they didn't see them in the canals, and now are full of dolphins and these birds. And
yeah, they're coming back. It didn't take but 2 weeks for the birds to come back, and the dolphins to reappear, and the water in the canal is clearing up because people have pulled away. Look at how fast the earth fixes itself when we quit putting so much stress on it.
Okay. We saw a picture of a big city. It was in South America somewhere, and there was nobody on the street, and there was mountain lions walking down the sidewalk.
Right.
Looking for dinner.
Yeah, they didn't have any humans. They really lived there first, you guys. Right. And we interrupted their territory and built arrogantly, took over. Okay. That's so we're going to do things where going forward, everything we do will have a spiritual component as opposed to it just being in this world and just being our way. We're going to meld with the spiritual side of us in all of us and bring it together. That's what this is really about. You're going to see changes that are going to come that are going to be amazing and are going to make you mad, because you're going to see things come out that have been withheld from the people for freaking hundreds of years that are now going to come forward that we can now enjoy and benefit by. You're going to see all that come out, but it's been held back by some people that had control over it, and what would you say, they hoarded it and they did not share it with you. All right, so we're going to see disclosure from this is what I want to say.
A lot of people, when they got sent home, they thought, oh my God, sent home, that's terrible. What am I going to do? But now, like Viola, she's seeing, she likes it. She loves it.
She's really basking in it. And she's using, Viola is writing in her journal every day. And that's how she's seeing it, because she does the daily 15 minutes a day. Now, I want you to know 15 minutes a day will go by so quickly. People who use this journal and apply it to their life to heal their past, they start working with this and they go way past 15 minutes. In fact, they're in it for an hour and it felt like 5 minutes. Okay, that's when you know you're in your zone. Okay, when you're really connected. Go ahead, Ray.
Well, people really hadn't thought about what's good about working at home till it started to dawn on them. You know, okay, let's say
That's true.
let's say you drove an hour to work and an hour home.
Oh,
Now you got 2 hours back. What are you
right.
going to do with those 2 extra hours? You're not going to work. That's for sure.
Well, you may, if you're not so exhausted from all the years of doing that, you may need a little rest and get some of that rest back, right, Ray?
Yeah, you could rest, but people who said, well, I don't have 15 minutes to write my journal every day, but now you got 2 hours extra. You can squeeze 15 minutes in there.
Yeah.
How about all the expenses that you incur going back and forth to work? Not just clothes. You got to buy nice clothes to go to work. You got to have them dry cleaned sometimes, you know. Every morning on the way to work, you stopped at Starbucks and spent $5 or $6 or $7
Just to feel better.
just to make it easier that thinking about, well, God, I got to go to work.
Yeah, and grind through another day. Everything about this is for your benefit, you guys. This is it, and it's a reset. It's a reset that they're not even they're busy talking to you about it being more people are dying and oh my God. Okay, when it's really a reset. Anytime you see the media shout at you with all this fear, it's deliberately designed to distract you from what's really going on. Okay. So remember that. That's another reason writing in your journal every day, part 3 in this case, to document your journey going forward will keep you, it will keep you from going down that road and wasting your time, wasting your energy. Your focus will be off. Okay. This will keep you from going that way. All right. What do we have, Ray? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I lost connection here. I'll be right back in.
Okay, so that's okay, Ray. Okay, Ray, let me see. Okay, so your ability to adapt has now become more important than your desire to continue the way that you used to be. Instead of forcing your way through it, instead of powering your way through it, it's about adapting. It's about stopping and looking at what you've been doing. Breathe for the first time in a long time so you can begin to connect with what this really is and how come it's to your benefit. So you can realize this for yourself. And what comes from this, you guys, so many good things are going to come from this. You don't want to miss a single one of them. Okay? It looks like the stock market's crashing. The economy's, never been so bad, worse than the Great Depression. We've heard it all. Okay? But what's really going on is the new normal is kicking in. Are you guys ready for the new normal? Are you sick of just living in this world with all the disconnection and the hate and the jealousy and the competition and the work you do all the time? You've got no time left for yourself to take care of yourself. Do you really want more of that? Until you let yourself experience this, feel what this feels like, document your journey, you won't see what the new normal is giving you. You've got to document it so you can see how that new normal is playing out in your life.
You know,
You're already in it.
You also talked about one thing that's interesting is discernment. Being able to discern what you hear, especially in the news,
Yeah.
what it's trying to do. is it trying to scare you, which it is most of the time. And what I found is interesting is we just read, was it last night or maybe early this morning? I don't know. We're always reading the news, but it said that Spain and Italy's virus cases have tapered off or peaked, and they're heading down, and the deaths are getting fewer. The new cases reported are fewer, but that wasn't in the news. That was way buried somewhere.
Yeah, you had to look deeper.
Right. But what was right there in your face? The U.S. is going to have 100,000 more cases, 100,000 people die in the next couple of months.
Yeah. So you have to, when they said in this session about focusing, you need to focus your attention in the right direction so you don't miss. You're on a wave, you guys. You're on a wave, and we're all rising up. Okay. If we elect to, if we want to stay in that fear-based thing and that drama and that trauma and that panic, okay, if we want to stay in that, oh yeah, you could stay in that. There's going to be a lot of people who subscribe to that, just like they always have. Okay, but this is not what's really going on.
Yeah. It's all like a magician. Watch this hand over here while I do something with this hand over here.
Right, that's right. So you have to choose to say, to give yourself a break from it. Let your intuition speak through you, and do your writing each day, and stay centered, and don't buy into that. It'd be something like, okay, it'd be something like if you were to measure it against something that maybe you've seen or done in the past. Gossip. You know, the Star, the Inquirer, they're always talking about somebody, how they got fat or how they're ugly now, or I don't know.
They lost 420 pounds and you should see them in their new bikini.
Okay, so they're always talking about sensationalism.
Right.
The news is sensationalism. The way that they convey what's going on, they do it in a sensational way because you've been born and bred on sensationalism. How do you take that reality and remove it? And so you can see what's really going on. And when you see what's really going on, only then can you make really good decisions. If you stay in the sensationalism down here in the muck and the mire, your decisions will be lousy. So it really comes down to you. Whatever you gravitate toward, whatever you subscribe to, whatever you focus on, like the guides were saying, you've already made your choice. That's the road you're going down.
Yeah, it's not bad enough to listen to all the sensationalism about the coronavirus and the deaths and the new cases. And one of the headlines today was, it's going to go off like a bomb in this big city, And
there's a whole audience that loves that kind of reporting.
Yeah, and then in between, you have to listen to about a half a dozen drug commercials about all these other diseases that you might have.
Okay, so this is what it does. It makes you ill.
Right.
Okay, so you have to write down I want to say this, if you're attracted to that, if you're drawn into that, if your focus takes you there, I want you, in your attempt to see it for yourself, in part 3 of the journal writing, to write down what you are looking at, what seems to be real to you. Write it down. So what if you've got this thing wrong? You won't see it unless you write it down. And then the next question, there's four qualifying questions here that bring out the clarity every single time, whether you're in the muck of the mire down here or you're seeing it for what it is. Okay. In every case, this will help walk you through that process so you can become clear about what's going on for you about the situation. Writing it down and then asking yourself how it made you feel, and then asking yourself what you realize from that. Then you've got power. You've got some action you can take that will make a difference in your life and decisions that will make sense.
Yeah, there's no going back to the decisions that you made based on belief systems that you learned before you were 20, or you learned them in your 30s, or, most of the reason why people find themselves in their 50s or 60s wondering, what did I do wrong? What happened? Who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? What is my purpose? Is that the decisions they made were based upon things that they were taught that were lies.
I know. And that there's going to be a lot of people who, in this new normal, are going to stand back and see and recognize all the lies they were told and the life they led based on those lies. And they're going to be angry. And what do? You get out your journal. This is it. And you write down what makes you so mad. Write it down. Okay. And then how that made you feel. Okay. And then what you realize from it. You realize something from that, and what action you're going to take, the change that you're going to make from this new discernment, from this resilient living, from the high road. Okay. You could stay in the anger for a while. That could happen. It does happen sometimes. We have to really look at that, feel it, regurgitate it until we really understand what happened there, so then we can release it. Ray, we've got something there.
Mary Elizabeth, I'm struggling a little bit, to be honest. I love change, and I swear my middle name is Adaptable. Wow, that's a strange middle name. Usually I'm very strong. My mom has been very sick for over 2 weeks with the virus. She never gets sick. I feel a little helpless but sad because I can't help her.
So her question is?
That wasn't a question there. She's just feeling sad because she can't help.
Okay.
I can feel. I know that.
Okay, so at the beginning, what was the beginning of her?
She loves change. Her middle name is Adaptable.
Okay.
Mary.
But now she's being drawn into it from somebody that she's close to.
Right.
Okay.
She's being drawn into all the drama
So come
that's
back.
around it.
Come over here, Ray. We're going to let your guides, they see what you're going through. They're going to tell you what they see about this whole situation in terms of how you need to focus and become resilient even under those conditions. Okay, here they go.
It's natural to feel that you are in some way failing her by not being able to help. Everything is energy, and we want you to concentrate and meditate on sending her healing energy, especially the blue light energy. It's a great way you can be of help to her in these trying times.
It goes back to what I was saying about this, Mary Elizabeth, where you focus on the high road. You stay focused on what you can do, not what is out of your control. Your mom is sick. You can't control that, but what can you control? Where is it that you have your power? What they just described to you is where you have your power. And the way you do that is, you know how to do this, is to come back into the present moment and work your magic from there, okay? On how you interpret this, how you need to better understand this situation. There's no accident that you're watching your mom go through this. What are you supposed to learn? Part 3, write in that journal about what's going on with you each day with these challenges. You're going to flush it out. You're going to start to calm down. It's all about calming down. Whatever's going on with your mom, there's no accident that she's experiencing this and needs to. There's no accident that you are watching this happen and need to work better with your discernment about what really is happening. Okay, so you can really help your mom. Everything works out fine if we don't have our expectations on it, okay? Where it has to be a certain way, because otherwise we just can't deal with it, which is not true. In the process of all this, we all learn who we are. We all connect better with who that is. And then we are more capable of being present, being connected, and making the best decisions going forward for ourselves and for the world. Okay?
That's it. No more questions.
Okay. Okay, this is all about resilient living. Don't let what's going on in the media consume you. I just want to say that it's more than scare. It's all consuming. If you can observe the news, not be pulled in by it, or something that's happening on a special program about this situation. If you can observe it, okay, and keep your center while you're doing it. The minute you can't keep your center, you start leaning one way or the other, and you start losing your grip. Turn off the program. You're at a point where you can't handle it. You're not strong enough to handle more of that, or maybe you just don't need to. Okay, sometimes it's ridiculous. Why even put yourself through it? Look at it out there. It's not happening in here. It's that reality that it's called to tell a vision for a reason. They're telling you their vision of the way they perceive what's going on. What's your vision? That's who you need to talk to. That's the 15 minutes a day. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's all focusing on what you realize that you can control.
What you can control. That's
Right.
right.
You can't control the sensationalism. You can't control the fear.
Right.
Other than turning it off.
Yeah.
You know.
That's right. And calm down. All right. I'm going to announce a few things, and then the spirit guides, are going to close the session today on resilient living. Next Tuesday, April 7th, join me. I will be live streaming on my Facebook page, my Facebook timeline, and on my YouTube channel. Use search term Linda Deer. This will be a Q&A and commentary on next Tuesday's Insight, published in Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, with me and my spirit guides at 6 p.m. Pacific time. In Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, my spirit guides will be talking about release the life that kept you on the edge. That's what you're in the middle of right now. You may not realize it, but that's what's really going on. The fact that this pandemic has caused as many as possible to work from home was no accident. It happened to give you the opportunity to see the repetitive and how repressive your old life was. People will get a look at just how repressive their old life used to be by having this time out. This situation we find ourselves in is a massive in-your-face example of how change, specifically sudden change, works. For those who dislike change and want everything to be a routine like before, will be in for a shock when they see the workplace change forever. And that's just one aspect of the change. But it's going to be a big aspect of it, because the workplace is really, it's a big part of our lives, you know. So to get Linda's Weekly Guided Insights delivered to your email box each day on Tuesdays, sign up. It's free. Look for the link in the description of this video. All right. So to get the replay of my webinar that was held on Saturday, March 28th and what my spirit guides said about the change you feared is here, but not to be feared. In this webinar, my spirit guides inform you of changes to come that must not be feared, like where this is all taken us. You will hear about the needed course corrections you must make that will become your new normal. Watch the video trailer for this webinar by clicking on the link in the description of this video. All right, so before we close, I just want to bring up what's going on this Thursday, April 2nd at 6 p.m. Pacific time in our Facebook private group, Ask the Universal Channel. The teachers of Ask the Universal Channel will be performing the following. Kathy's spirit guides will talk about why we must follow their guidance. Their guidance is your spirit guides, even though we have free will. So things are really heating up, and we need to really be paying attention to the guidance that's coming through and taking action on it, okay? Veronica's spirit guides will talk about what you can do for self-care right now and why. Kim's spirit guides will talk about why they are here and why it's important to follow their guidance. And Joy's spirit guides said, it is a situation in the world now that prompts us to discuss fear and how it is affecting judgment. Great one. Ask, what can you do to diminish fear regarding the world situation right now? I can't wait to hear what her guides have to say about that. So if you don't belong to Ask the Universal Channel group, you can go to the link or to the page posted in the description of this video and ask to join. And Ray will give you the qualifier for getting in. All right. Okay, and this event on Thursday at Ask the Universal Channel would be hosted by Linda Deer and Ray Holly. So we hope that if you do belong to the group, that you join us, or if you don't belong to the group, that you ask to join the group. All right.
Okay, just a comment here. We could only see like 2 or 3 people on Facebook.
Okay.
But Joy and Kathy and Kim and Julie, they were all there and sending us messages, but
we couldn't see them?
we couldn't see them that they were even on.
Why is that?
I don't know. We're going to have to find out what happened because we can usually see everybody.
Okay, so there was a glitch in Facebook tonight.
Right.
Okay, so was there anything that we need
So
to
there's
cover?
like 4 other people that were there besides
Okay.
Mary Elizabeth that we couldn't see them and they were typing into the stream and we couldn't see it.
Can you see it now, right?
No.
Okay. Okay. Wow. So we're sorry that we didn't see you guys. Here's what I'd like you to do. Leave your question on the post on the website for Resilient Living, where you read the entire post. Go to the bottom and leave a comment, please. And I will respond to you, or the guides will respond to you about your post, okay, about your question or your concern, because we don't want to miss any of you. What do we have, Ray? Anything? Okay. Okay. So looks like we got a little technical glitch that we'll work out here. So it doesn't usually happen like that. Usually
It's never
you can
happened
see
like
it.
that.
All right.
I can usually see, a dozen people or more.
Yeah, we'll have to find out why that's going on.
Yeah.
All right. Technology, you guys. Okay, and we're really glad that you joined us tonight. Okay. So the spirit guides are going to close this session with their comments about resilient living. And here they go.
The new normal should be called the new discernment. How will you be able to separate the sensationalism of the news that's designed to instill fear from the truth? Well, ask yourself, how does the news make you feel? We say all the time that truth and love are the same. If the news is telling the truth, you will feel love. If not, someone is exaggerating or not telling the truth. It's your ability to discern the difference that will make you less fearful and more open to other alternatives than what you keep hearing on every news channel.
That shouts at you, that broadcasts to you what they want you to focus on. That's not benefiting you. Okay.
Yeah, you have to ask yourself, what else is going on that they don't want me to know about because they're making me look at this all the time?
Right. Okay. So what do you do when you're pulled into that and you're having trouble doing the discerning? Here's what you do. You get your journal out, part 3, and you write in here what you just thought you saw them tell you on the tell a vision, telling their vision to you about what is described as the news. Write down what you think it was that they were telling you, and then ask yourself the next question, how it feels. That's what they just said. If you don't feel love, like they really care about you by telling you about this stuff, then it's an exaggeration or it's a lie. It's not true. And that's how you're going to begin to see it, so that you can say, okay, this is a bunch of, that is rubbish. I don't need that screaming at me. I need the truth. I don't need all this glorification. I just need the truth. And that's how you're going to find it. That's how you're going to train yourself to recognize when anybody is doing that, so that you don't get pulled into it and feel waylaid by it. Okay. You guys are going to learn to trust what you feel. You're going to learn to trust what decisions you make, because you run it through this filter of, what was it? What did I feel? What did I realize? And what action can I take? That would mean your personal power over in a situation, not trying to change something you have no business in. You can't fix or change the past any more than you can make the future happen just the way you want it. No, that's never worked. So that's where we are with this. Resilient living means discernment. It's like a rubber band. You learn to adapt. You learn to go with the flow. You learn to go into your center where the answers reside, where you calm down. Okay.
Okay, until next time.
Until next time, you guys.
Be kind to everybody.
Try to join us on Thursday. Ask the Universal Channel private Facebook group, and see you next Tuesday right here.